we had everything going against us.
Yeah, we were young, we were broke, we didn't know anything about business. We literally started from nothing.
We were never supposed to make it. Hey, what's up, guys?
Hey, guys.
Welcome to episode number 16 of WIN ANWAY.
Yes, 16.
Yep, 16. It's going quick. We're having a blast.
Mm-hmm.
And as we start off, we just want to thank you for being a part of this. I guess we could call it a focus or a movement or a experience or whatever we want to call it. But we appreciate you coming along for the ride. Our goal is to help you win in the business.
Despite any circumstances.
Yes, no matter what, you got to win anyway. And that's actually what our topic is about today.
Yes.
This is episode 16, which means we're on the end of month 4.
Yeah. Oh, yeah, that's true.
Yeah, 16 Sundays in a row. We have not missed one, which is pretty cool.
Yes, exciting.
And that's just to tell you that's how we do everything. That's how you should do everything too.
Consistent.
You make a commitment and follow through. Yeah, be consistent. So as we start off today, just want to remind you that no matter what's going on, you got to win. And it doesn't matter. Things aren't always going to be perfect. And so our topic today is what?
How to play hurt.
How to play hurt. If you watched, or you still watch, the great Kobe, he's known for one thing, which is playing hurt and finding a way to win no matter what. So
yes, and that's definitely going to apply not only to big situations that are going to come across your path in life, but the small ones. And so we're going to kind of talk about both of those things, but I think it's very relevant to what's going on today because there's a lot of stuff going on and a lot of distractions. And so why don't we start off by talking about like, what do we mean by playing hurt? Like what, because obviously not physically hurt, although that could apply as well.
Right. Playing hurt means that not everything's always going to be going in your favor. Your circumstances aren't always going to line up for you to be successful, but it's finding a way to get the job done anyways. If you watch back when Kobe tore his Achilles, he obviously he was hurt. He got up, he walked out, shot 2 free throws, made them both, and walked all the way back to the locker room. And in the middle of that, nobody knew whether he just sprained his ankle or anything like that.
Right.
Then it came out he had fully ruptured his Achilles. And, was done. And a couple things happened. Number one is that he had the mental toughness where he was going to finish the job regardless. But number 2, people respect you when you're able to find a way to be on top, even in a time when your circumstances don't line up in your favor.
Right.
I think that's what playing hurt means, is that things aren't always going to be good, but regardless, you still get the job done.
Right. And in business, if we're going to apply that same principle to business, that could mean anything from you having something going on in your personal life. You're in your business life, somebody quits, your schedule is suddenly empty. Something with, the products or the business model changes and you have to make some adjustments. Just really anything that throws a wrench in your already set forward plan. Right. Right?
Yeah, no doubt about it. You're running for a promotion and your top guy quit.
Or you have a big app that was already closed. They did their medical and you're counting on it for your promotion. All of a sudden the client decides, you know what? I don't want it anymore.
Yeah, or they get declined.
Yeah, they get declined, or it's just something out of your control that happens.
And it doesn't even have to be business related. A lot of us, we go through this crap where a family member gets sick. Mom and dad, are struggling financially. You're playing sports in school and it's a distraction from your business, or your business is a distraction from your sports, or your kids get sick.
Yeah.
Or, your kids can't go to school for 3 weeks and now you're home.
Right.
It doesn't matter what it is. You do not need, if you're taking notes, put this in your notes. You do not need a perfect set of circumstances for you to win here.
And you'll never have them.
No, the timing will never be right. Nothing will. That success does not come easy. You're trying to achieve what only the top 2% of the country has achieved financially, which is to make a 6-figure or a multiple 6-figure income, to achieve financial independence and be debt free. To live life on your own terms, on your own time, with your own choices, whenever you want. And you're trying to do all of those things here. You can't expect it to be easy.
Right. And that's not being pessimistic. That's you preparing yourself mentally so you're mentally tough, that when you recognize a challenge, you see it for what it really is. And it's an opportunity for you to grow, for you to get stronger, and for you to build the skills that you're going to need to get to the next level.
Right. So let's talk about that. Let's talk about how to play hurt and how to win hurt.
Right.
Because what most people do when life starts to kick their ass a little bit is that they go, oh my gosh, hold on.
Pause.
I need to take a break. Which is like the freaking worst thing you can do if you're an entrepreneur and you're in business. But that's what employees do.
Yeah.
They come in, they ask for time off. Hey, you know what? I'm going through something. Can I take this week off? But you can't do that if you're in business.
No, and you will hear this, or maybe you've said this yourself. They'll say, your teammates will say, I need to just take a step back.
Yeah.
Right?
And they usually follow it up with the biggest load of bullshit
I know what you're going to
I've
say.
ever heard in my freaking adult life. So as a kid, you always feed bullshit to your teacher. I'm sick. I have a stomach ache. Can I go to the nurse's office? I have a headache. Whatever. My mom come pick me up. My dog ate my homework. Adults do the same shit.
Oh, yeah.
The same freaking crap. And it's pathetic. This is the stereotypical number one adult version of the dog ate my homework. Is, I'm just the kind of person, Ronnie, if I'm just being honest, I don't like to do anything if I can't commit to it 100%. Like I'm the all in. I want to be all in. Like everything I do, if I can't do it all in and I can't give it everything I got, then I don't want to do it at all. That's the biggest load of bullshit ever. Because then you look at that person, you go, dude, you're 18 grand in credit card debt. You have no money in the bank. Your freaking wife hates you. When's the last time you did anything all in? Like you're freaking full of shit.
You've never done anything all in 100%.
Never. You're fat, dude. The only thing you did all in was the buffet.
Right. So.
Anyways, I'm just kidding. Kind of. But my point is, it's like you don't do anything all in. And then they don't want to do the business because they can't. It's a bunch of crap. It's an excuse because they don't know how to manage what they have going on or they're scared of commitment.
Right. Which brings us to our first point, which is how do you handle that stuff that's inevitably going to happen? Because this is life. Let's just be honest. It happens. So how do you handle it? The first thing is you have to focus. It's all about focus. What are you focusing on?
Right.
And realizing what is your end goal. You have to constantly remind yourself why you're doing something, because if you don't remind yourself why you're doing it, the second something bad happens, you're going to start in your mind trimming the fat. And if this is extra and this is not necessary to you in your head, then this is going to be one of the first things that you're going to put on the back burner.
Yeah. No, it's a very, very, very good point. People automatically drop the business because they feel like it's just an add-on versus clarity of why you started it to begin with, which is here's the deal. People quit for the same reason they start.
It's true.
I start the business. Tell me if this sounds familiar. Hey, tell me your goals. Oh man, I just got to make more money. I want to retire my mom. I just don't see my kids enough. I never see my kids. I work too much. Like I'm always at work. I never see my kids. I just, I want more. I want better. And then when they quit, it's like, dude, I just don't have time. I never see my kids. I work too much. Now all of a sudden, all the reasons they started to begin with are the same reasons they're quitting. And it's not that they're quitting because of the business. They're quitting because they're quitting because this is demanding more out of them than they're willing to give.
Right.
But instead of saying that, they just quit. And so if someone comes in, though, because do we have a perfect set of circumstances?
No.
Now, we had everything going against us.
Yeah, we literally just felt like we just started with scratch, like nothing.
From nothing.
Just no skills, no knowledge, no money, and just
no environment.
No credibility, no environment, no training. And
we went a year and a half with no BPM,
no
office, no leadership.
So the circumstances aren't going to be perfect for you. But like what he's saying, if that's really your end goal is that you want to spend more time with your kids, you want to retire your parents, whatever that is, you have to realize, all right, what do I need to be able to do that? I need money. And so that's why I started here in business, because I need to build something that's going to keep running even when I'm not present. And that's going to take some time. So knowing that up front, that that's going to take some time, you have to keep that in mind. And I would say even break it down even further, where it's like, all right, so I need this X amount of money to be able to do that. So on a monthly basis or even on a weekly basis, this is what has to be going into my pipeline.
So you break that down to a daily basis.
To a daily basis, because when these things happen, it's like one day it's fine, the next day something comes up. Mm-hmm. And so it's like, all right, but at the end of the day, if I want to hit my goal, this has to happen.
Mm-hmm. Nothing should stop you from doing your business that wouldn't stop you from going to work.
Right.
If you got to go to work, you got to go to work anyways.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, you have to make it happen. And this should be the same mentality too, because this is going to be more of a long-term solution, where your job right now, especially if you're paycheck to paycheck and you know it, that's a short-term solution.
Mm-hmm. It's a Band-Aid.
It's a Band-Aid.
It doesn't fix the actual problem, which is that you don't have freedom.
Your business is, the cure, and
correct.
Your job is a Band-Aid.
So would you agree that on a daily basis, there needs to be something that advances you?
Yeah.
Every single day.
And what I always ask myself, and what I ask other people, is you need to ask yourself this question every single day. What did I do today to move my business forward? And you better have something to answer that with, because if the answer is nothing, then you literally were stagnant for a whole day.
Yeah.
And that can compound one way or the other. It's either it compounded with the effort that you put in every single day, or it compounded with zeros. And you're just going to end up in either the same place you are currently or in a worse situation.
Yeah, for sure. I love it.
Yep.
It's literally the daily things that add up. You want to have a good month, you got to have a good week. You want to have a good week, you got to have 7 good days in a row. Mm-hmm. You could do that 4 times, you got a good month. You do that 12 times, you've had a great year. But if you waste 7 days in a row and then you do that 4 times, you just wasted the whole dang month.
Yep. Yeah,
we're in March right now when we're recording this originally, March of 2020, and that's 3 months into the year. So a quarter of the year is already done, and you had all these people in January that were fired up. They have business plans that 90 days in, most people, if I said on your business plan, how much money did you list that you're going to make this year? How many recruits this year? How many personal points are you going to write this year? They couldn't even tell me what they put. If I pulled out their business plan, they're probably wrong if they took a guess, because they haven't looked at it since the second week of January. And it's the daily compounded efforts. So very cool. What else?
Right. So if you're not focused, this is what ends up happening, which is why it was our first point. If you're not focused, this is what ends up happening. So something's going to go wrong with your day. And I'll give you an example. So let's say, and we've had this happen before, where we have 6, 7, 8 appointments on the calendar, and then all of a sudden, poof, just like magic, they all reschedule or they all cancel, but ends up being that the whole day now is 100% clear with no appointments. And I'll tell you what I've seen some people do. They have 2, 3 appointments cancel, and they go, okay, well, my appointments are canceled, so I'll just go home, right? Day over,
right.
I got nothing to do. So I'll just go home, and they will literally go home.
Yep.
Right?
Yep.
And they'll call it a day. That's it. But if you're focused and you're like, okay, today I have to make progress, because I have that bigger goal in mind. I have to make progress. So I have to make something happen, which brings us to our next point.
Yeah, you gotta create. So when I started in the business, I didn't have a market, so I spent most of my time prospecting. And when you're prospecting, what you're trying to do is you're trying to create something, some sort of movement into your business, some sort of activity on your calendar that does not exist. There's nothing on the calendar. So on a day like that, where Tommy the Dreamer, who came in and told you he was going to take over the world,
right?
And then his
friends and family,
his smart self went home, and someone told him, Tommy, you belong at the freaking body shop. What are you thinking? And Tommy quits, and then now all of a sudden, all Tommy's appointments are gone. Now, that day, that used to happen to me all the time. Everybody quit because I didn't know what the heck I was doing for them to stay. But that day, I didn't go home. I said, I'm going to learn how to create something out of nothing. This is literally probably what has gotten us where we're at. Is that when there's nothing on your schedule, can you still find a way to win anyway? Can you still find something to do? Can you still find something to close? Can you find someone to book? You know, when you have nothing, it's that skill set of I have nothing and I could turn nothing into something.
Yeah, and that's being flexible.
Yeah.
Because sometimes people are very, rigid in their minds where this is the plan for the day, and if it requires me to take a detour, I'm not doing it.
Right.
But just like anything else, you're trying to get home from work, right? You're on the freeway and they have all the lanes closed and they get you off the freeway. You're not going to just not go home, right? You're going to figure out.
You got to write it out.
You're going to figure out an alternative route of how to get to your house. So you need to start thinking of your goals in the same way. If your original plan didn't happen because there were some roadblocks, you got to figure out what the alternative route is. And that's what he's talking about. All your appointments cancel, then you got to go prospecting.
Yeah.
Or you have to figure out how to get some activity going.
Right.
And let's talk about the different things you could do to do that.
Yeah, if I have a day like that, I mean, guys, just playing hurt, period. You know, you're broke. What do? Most people go back and get a job. Mm-hmm. Your appointments cancel. Most people go home. You're frustrated. You know, what do? It's literally creating something from nothing. So in those moments, this is what I do. First of all, I go, well, I've been here before.
Yeah.
So it ain't the first time. And I'm still here.
Right.
I've survived. So guess what? I'll survive again. Okay? But it's taking massive action. So a couple of things I run through my head. All right, who could I call? Who can I call? Do I have someone I could follow up with? Who could I book for a BPM? Who could I book an appointment with? Who can I call to get referrals from? Who on my team's not a client? Mm-hmm. Who on my team needs to become a client? The first thing we got to do is take care of our own people. So who on my team's not a client? Who have we not done their personal financial needs analysis? Who in my family's not a client?
Right.
Mom, dad, grandma, grandpa. Who could I do just a little final expense policy on? Who could I set up a college fund for?
Yeah.
You know, something small. Like it's just little crap adds up. You do
Yeah.
$50 a month policies, and that adds up to a pretty good sized policy.
Following up with clients who have been your clients for maybe a year or 2 years.
Doing a review.
Annual review. Let's see if there's
Yeah.
anything in their portfolio that they're missing. How can we help them?
Yeah, who could I add to? Who maybe needs some long-term care? Or who needs something that they don't already have?
Yeah.
You know, who
got married, had kids.
Right. Who needs to, hey, you never added Tommy here as a child rider on your policy. It's like literally just like it gets me a way in the door where we could do a review. And next thing you know, Bob, the husband, had left his job a couple weeks ago and needs to roll over something. Like there's so many ways you could create activity from nothing. Who's pending? Who said, hey, let me think about it?
Yeah. Client appointments that never turned into closing appointments.
Right. Who said, hey, send me the illustration.
Or they said the timing's not right and you come back to them. Yeah.
Who can you deliver? Whose policy came in the mail that you could deliver?
What teammates can you meet with that you can make phone calls with them?
Right.
Help them book appointments. Help
Taproot
them invite people.
There's so many things. There's so many freaking things.
Yeah.
Or that's a good opportunity to go back to your coach and be like, dude, I'm getting my freaking teeth kicked in. Help me out. Let me take you out to coffee tonight.
Right, but don't go home.
Don't go home.
That's the worst.
Because people go home and they
do.
feel sorry for themselves and they just soak in their sorrow and think about all the reasons why they need to quit the business. And they're full of excuses. And look, you can't be committed to your bullshit and your goals. It's one or the other. You can't be committed to both. So if I'm committed to my goals, then all the crap that goes on in my head, I'm just going to tune it out. When I want to go home, it doesn't mean you can't want to go home. It means you can't go home. It means you got to find a way to win anyway. You got to find a way to get some sort of a result so that when you go home, you feel good. So that when you go home, you're proud of yourself. So that you build that self-confidence, that self-integrity, where you kept your promise to you, which was that despite all the nonsense, and this whole day has been shot to hell, but I'm going to find a way to make it a win anyway.
And you're building a habit when you do that. Either way, right?
Right.
Because if you go home, you're teaching your mind how to react to that situation in the future.
Yeah. That's why I have confidence when I go through that crap, because I go, this isn't the first time.
Yeah, I've done
I've been
this
through
before.
this a million times.
No big deal.
Yeah, I just need more. I need more going on. And I've got a guy on my team, Sergio, who last week he had an empty calendar, him and his wife, Mary Beth. And on an empty calendar for 2 days, they wrote 40,000 premium with 0 appointments on the calendar.
And that's not them sitting in their office going, oh my God, I don't have any appointments. What am I going to do? That's not them like sitting there sulking. That's them doing the things that we literally just talked about.
That's him going, challenge accepted.
All right, I'll figure it
Nothing on
out.
the calendar. I'm still going to outright everybody.
Yeah.
And literally, that's exactly what he did. 40,000 premium. I'm like, bro, where did it all come from? He's like, dude, it just fell into place, man. I started looking for it. Mm-hmm. See, desperation brings out things inside of you you didn't know existed. When your back's up against the wall and everything's falling apart, and you find that extra gear that you didn't know was there. Or maybe you knew it was there. Mm-hmm. And sometimes you fall into an empty schedule. It's the best thing that ever happens to you. Because if you're the right person, an empty schedule is going to bring out an edge, that hunger that wouldn't be there on a full schedule. On a full schedule, you're chilling. On a full schedule, you're sitting back, getting fat, eating all day. Your assistant's bringing food to your desk. You're not even getting out of there, and you're just running appointments. But on an empty calendar,
you got to hunt.
You got to hunt, man. That creates an edge where your mouth starts to get watery because you're freaking hungry, and you're like, oh my gosh. And you start to see things. See, when you're hungry, you have clarity. When you're hungry, your vision's sharper. When you're hungry, you hear everything. You see everything. When you're hungry, you're at the restaurant and you hear the word finance or rollover or 401k or recruit or business behind you, and your ears perk up. But on a full calendar, you're satisfied, so you're not looking. So hunger and empty schedule and anxiety and paranoia sometimes will be your best friend.
Yeah. And by the way, if you have a team, and I hope you do, they're watching to see how you react to this stuff. They're watching to see how you handle everybody canceling on you, how you handle chargebacks, how you handle your personal life, disrupting your business life. They're watching you and seeing how you're handling everything because they're going to learn from what you're doing.
Yep. And when you soak in your sorrow, man, you're going to have a whole team of soakers that quit every time something doesn't go their way.
Yep. I was just telling the team the other day, I feel like there's 2 reactions when something bad happens to people or whatever they consider bad. It's either they curl up in a ball and hope to survive and wait for the storm to pass, or the people who stand up and they're like, you know what? I'm not going to just survive this. I'm going to come out on top. I'm going to thrive. I'm going to make it happen. The best scenario possible, I'm going to find it and I'm going to create it. And so we want you to be that second person. We don't want you to be the person who curls up in a ball, goes home, and just waits for the storm to pass.
Yep.
You have to take control of your life and take control over you and your future. And this is all the habits that go into doing that.
Yeah. That there's a rare breed of people that actually go all in. And that they know how to play hurt. Kobe's Kobe not because he was good, but because of all the crap he played through. That's why he's so inspiring. It's the fact that nothing was perfect, yet he still always came out on top. So there's a rare breed of people that go all in no matter what. I've seen people go to the gym at 4 a.m. before they go work 2 jobs. I've seen people that are introverted come out of their shell and prospect and make phone calls because their success called on them to do that, because they're not going to win being shy or all these other labels that they've put on themselves. I've seen people who are single parents working 3 jobs with 4 kids and 1 special needs, and regardless, they don't miss meetings. They find a way to write policies. They still find a way to go on appointments. There's people that are going to win no matter what. Whatever circumstance you have going on right now, someone in the company is winning with the same exact plate that you have. Right?
Absolutely.
Going through the same crap, and someone's still winning. Mm-hmm. Because they decide when life pushes them, they're going to push back versus get pushed over. And they still get the job done. But it feels better to win when it wasn't easy than it does to win when it's easy. it's more rewarding.
You don't gain anything when things are easy, when things go your way, when everybody shows up on time, when they're supposed to show up, do what they're supposed to do. You don't learn anything. It's just, you're going through the motions. When things don't go your way, that's when you grow, and that's when you learn.
Yeah. People give time and effort and energy to things that are important to them.
Exactly.
Boom. Hey, guys. The best thing you could do for us, let me tell you, we're killing out all the topics that are pretty surface. Not surface, we're going in depth, but surface meaning like it's the stuff people deal with every single day. And we still got a whole bunch of stuff that's been requested and things to talk about. But we appreciate your support. The best thing you could do for us is comment the things that your team wants to hear. And let me tell you why I'm telling you this. I want you to drop this in all your big hierarchy group meets and then comment to us on YouTube, specifically on YouTube.
Yes, please, on YouTube. That's the easiest.
It's like a filing cabinet for us. On YouTube, I know you listen on Apple. I know you listen on Spotify. I know you listen on Stitcher and SoundCloud and YouTube and all these places. But please comment on YouTube. And obviously you could comment on our teaser clips on Instagram and stuff, which we appreciate you tagging your friends and all that. We don't do this for us because this doesn't pay us. We do this for you. We do this for our team as a way to give back. We know what it feels like to want to win. And but the best thing you could do is the content going out to your teammates obviously is good for you. But the stuff that they want to hear, make sure you comment that stuff.
Yes, please. Yeah, and we really appreciate all the comments. Even if you don't have a suggestion, we just appreciate you reaching out, telling us you're listening, and that it's helping you because it just gives us good feedback to know that we're on the right path.
Yeah. So we appreciate it,
yes.
And we're looking forward to it. Yes. We're about to start month 5, starting next Sunday. So anyhow, we're done. Yes. We're out.
All right. Love
See
you
you
guys.
soon.
Bye.